This is my second technical briefing for the jQuery plugin known as Thickbox. I will be showing you what it can do and some of the code to get it to work. Alright, using Visual Studio here, you just put your little, where's it over here? Your Thickbox JS over here. And go ahead and bring up Thickbox. Go to the Thickbox, not hard to find. Download either one, doesn't matter. You can still use them the same way. You also have to have the Thickbox CSS file and the loading graphic. Without those, it won't work correctly or look correct or just plain out not function. So this is the test page. Single image. It's really interesting. You got your downsized image here, and you click on it, and it pops up bigger. Has a little tile, and you can click out, you can close, or press Escape key. Very useful. Instead of having it opened up in a new tab or window, you can have it open up on the same page without changing anything. It's quite interesting. Now how you would type it in, you make the image a link, but you don't have it link anywhere except for to itself, but you give the class Thickbox. It's very important right there. And the rest of the image is same old, same old. And don't forget your width and height to make your image smaller, and you do the same for each one. And that's what you get here. It's quite neat. Now for the gallery, it took me a while to get this one to work, and I'll explain why later. I've got 6 images here. Click on one, click on next. Yeah. What's even cooler is that you probably could hide these images, but yet still be able to do this. You could have set to a button. I'll show you one thing that does that later. It's pretty interesting. On the website says you can use arrow keys, but I can get that to work. It must be an updated jQuery problem. Yeah, I'll show you how that works. It's the exact same thing except for this thing right here, REL. You set these the same for each one, and it sets them to a group. It's pretty darn awesome. Now, I've told you about how I had trouble getting it to work. Now, this is the right code, but because of in the newest version of jQuery, there's a little issue. I'll show you what it is. I'll find it again. Here it is. In the original version of the Thickbox code, there's an @ symbol right here. Now, before in the older versions of jQuery, this worked fine, but a new version it does not. So you had to get rid of it to get it to work properly. I'm not particularly sure as to what the reasoning is, but it must be something with a new jQuery version I don't know about. Well, yeah, that's how that works. Very interesting, very cool. Inline content's pretty neat too. You set it to a button, and it shows not just images, but text. Yeah. Now, I tried something interesting. I wanted to try having a Thickbox within a Thickbox, and I didn't get good results. Yeah. See, where the problem lies here. It adds on to this one, and you can't really see it. You can't scroll or nothing. I tried finding their solution to it, but couldn't find it. This one, just basic image. You can do all sorts of stuff too here. You can also put forms in here too. Because I'll show you how I did this. I'll show you. Inline. Yeah, you have to have this big old line of code here for your button. Height, width, the ID. This special tag that does the whole trick. Here's that ID tag again. And all of your text. Plus an image, and it's a div tag that does it. It's pretty sweet. And down here is the other one. But it's just a plain old image. Now you could put inside a div tag anything you want, and it will still function. But because if you don't set it to hidden, all this junk's going to show up on your page anyway, and that defeats the whole purpose behind it, doesn't it? Let me see if I can find my stylings. Yeah, there it is. Be sure to set those to none if you don't want them showing up on your page. But yeah, you can do all sorts of really awesome things with this. if you had more time, you could do all sorts of awesome stuff. Probably mixing everything together, which is pretty darn awesome. I just wish I could get this one to work properly. I seem not to be the only one who's having trouble doing that. Well, that's the awesome power of Thickbox, making your webpage a little cooler, one plugin at a time. This is James Riley signing off.